Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and today per our voting audience that you can participate in by going to the channel feed and voting on the polls every week for Cryptic Corner and other shows that we are producing over here. You can vote on the topics, but what we voted on this week was a phenomenon called Spooklights, which appear all over the world in different locations, but I've decided to focus on, these ones are just the ones from the U.S. right now, and then we'll kind of expand on these as we do. We'll do like the Spooklights of Europe and things like that, but there are so many in so many different nations and countries around the world that, yeah, I can't just cover them in one episode. So we're going to break it up. Now, if you look at this list here, I don't know how well you all can see this, but we have Joplin, that's Joplin, Missouri, but when we get into it, you're going to realize it's not just Missouri. We have the Martha Lights in Texas. The Gurdon Lights, I believe, are in Arkansas. Yeah. The Paulding Lights. Excuse me, I'll clear my throat real quick. I got a little frog in my throat. There we go. Okay, the Paulding Lights, I think Michigan. And we're gonna ask them. They got some scientific ideas about it there. We're gonna get the Saratoga Lights, and that's in Texas too. The Ghost Lights of Colorado's Silver Cliffs, and the Neosho Lights are on here, but the Neosho Lights are the same phenomena, or at least in the same range of the phenomena of the Joplin Lights, and we'll talk about that. But let's go ahead and get started with the Joplin Lights. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. Okay. Let me know if the audio's okay. Hear distant music. We're 30 seconds in. What's up? Oh, is that a Joplin light up there? Yeah, I do have sort of a sore throat, so just letting everybody know. And it's a little gravelly. So they're pretty white. Ooh, I like when it spreads like that. That's neat.
The Hornet Spooklight, located just outside of Joplin, Missouri, has perplexed supernatural seekers and adventurers for many years. It is generally seen as an elusive orb of light which moves above the ground. What it is, or how this mysterious phenomenon is caused, is much speculated. Thoughts range from electromagnetic radiation to a type of gas, and even that the orb represents two long-lost Native American lovers on their journey back to each other through the physical world. The orb itself has been described...
I like that last story best, I think. I like that, the ghostly lovers. There's actually, close to where I grew up, it's not nearly as prominent or commonly cited as any of these that we've covered so far, so I didn't include it. But there was something called the Levee Walker. That was it was like a lantern, right? A lantern being carried down the levee along the Mississippi River that people would report, but it was like reported like super rarely and mostly like way back in the 60s and 70s, I think. Anyway, while we got a map pulled up here, hey, let's map it up. Do I have the map on here? Just a sec. No. Okay. That's all right. We're going to... pulled up. I don't know why I closed it, honestly, but here we go. All right, so we'll drop this right here. Okay, so Joplin. For anybody who doesn't know, this is my map of all the cryptic locations we visited in Cryptic Corner, right? As you can see, I'm very American-centric because I'm American. I'm from the U.S., I should say. I know anybody from either of these continents can claim to be an American. I'm from the U.S., for better or worse. But these are all my locations. And I've marked all my spook lights on here now. So I've added the spook light locations to the map. But if you get down here in the Four Corners area of... It's not really Four Corners, but they call it the Four Corners. It's because it's... got this is the corner and then this is the corner, but Joplin's right here. Okay, and then these are the Hornet spook lights down here, and they are more, yeah, see, there's Hornet, Missouri, and they're more on the border, and even more so on the Oklahoma side of things. We can drop down in here and look. Alright, where's the famous hill that you come up over? It's probably this way. Nope. Where's my slope? Anyway, there's a slope. Yeah, you can see it in this picture best. That people see the spook light up above. And sometimes it's considered seasonal, which makes me think that maybe it is the way that the lights go through foliage.
Described to be spherical, obviously, and moves gently side to side in a pin.
Aren't you happy that we're talking about your people finally, Spooky? You've been coming to this show for how many years, and I've never brought up your people, and now we're talking about spooks. So, spook lights.
Pendulum sway. Some say it even takes the shape of a lantern, representing a lonely miner made headless by Indians searching for his head. It has been seen many times over the years.
Maybe they're two Native American lovers who were beheaded by miners.
Some encounters have been the same, and some have resulted in many stories which propagate even more myths. It has never been reported that the light has ever hurt anyone, but the stories keep coming in of people's personal interactions with the orb. Whether it is of the supernatural or not, or whether it's just a myth, the Hornet spook light is out there and continues to cause researchers, both amateur and professional, to ask questions. Though the sightings occurred years before, dating back as far as the late 19th century, the first professional recorded investigation did not take place until 1942 by a group of students from the University of Michigan.
I like the red lights. This must be tail lights. That's the spook light right there.
In 1946, United States Army Corps of Engineers tested to dismiss the light as car headlights, but no definitive conclusion was ever reached. In 1955, another group of students attempted to study the light, assisting Captain R.L. Lofton of the Army Corps of Engineers, but still no conclusion as to what the light was were reached. Over the decades, the light has been studied, but a suitable solution to the question has yet to be found. Some exciting recurrence...
Okay, hold on. Let's go back to the map now that I've seen this map. Because I think I dismissed... I dismissed where it dropped us down as the wrong road. I think it's got to be this way. Let's see. No, drop me down. Drop me on the blue line. I think it's got to be this way. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, coming up this hill is where you see it. So let's look. We have some power lines over the road. Got some foliage over the road. Ooh, hold on. What's this? Is this a cemetery? No. Damn it. I was like, ooh, if there's a cemetery at the top, I'm going to be like, ooh. But that'd be perfect for spooky season. We do got the lines up here, though, but those lines haven't been the same all this whole time. So let's see what else is up here. More foliage hanging in the path. Okay. And I'm not going to say I know more than the Army Corps of Engineers or anything. I'm just interested in looking at what could be catching that light in this definitive line. The road goes straight for a long time, though. Like, there's not a lot of curves and stuff in it, which this is in the Ozarks, so that's it's going up and down a lot, but it's not going it's not winding. Is that a donkey? And a llama? No, not a llama. That's another donkey. They got 2 donkeys. I don't have any donkeys. They got 3 donkeys. I think those are both cows, though. But they're longhorn cows. Still. No fair. Maybe it's this truck is the Joplin Lions. We're still going straight, though. Was there foliage over the road? Yes, more foliage over the road. And more lines over the road, too. Ooh, including some high lines. Wait a second. How high are those? Not that high. I like how I'm backing this truck up. It's like, get back. Back, I say. Still more foliage. That's some pretty low-hanging stuff right there. I don't even know if that's within regulations. Come on now. That's some pretty low. I guess as long as you're not taking a fire truck or a bucket truck through there extended. It's still going straight, though. How long are we going to chase this truck for, you guys, before the road turns? What's down here? Is that an old barn? Yup. Weight limit. Yeah. You better run. I'm scared. This truck is scared of me. How long before... You know what? Let's just go up here and look. How long before you curve? But this doesn't show us when there's shit over the top of the road either. It goes for a long way. Another intersection. Some bodies of water. That's something I'm missing, though, when I'm looking at it from the side, too, or from down on the road level, too. I'm missing what's over top, because that's also light bends under the right conditions. And if the right conditions are met here regularly, which they should be, it's not an anomaly, it's a phenomena. So it should... Finally, here we go. Here's the bend. Here's the bend. Okay. So this is what I'm interested in seeing here is what's up in here. Watch there be like a Sasquatch. Be a Sasquatch in the woods here with a mirror. Giggling. So I'm going to realign. And this hits. Oh, hold on. We have the Will Rogers Turnpike out here. That's interesting. What happens if we go straight line out from here? Hit the river. There's the Powwow State Grounds. Yeah, and that's because that's why this is like a Four Corners thing, because you got Missouri, Arkansas, Texas and Oklahoma, but sometimes you'll see Kansas roped into this too because it's right there as well. Or not Texas. Yeah, sorry. I'm mixing Texas and Oklahoma because I'm thinking about the folk monster phenomena. Yeah, it's these 4 states. Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas that claim these spook lights.
Have been found, though. There have been several accounts of the light getting as close to viewers as their car hoods, but with every attempt to catch the light has vanished. Also, the light seems to have intelligence. It knows when its comfort zone has been breached and always vanishes.
That light is bragging now. I didn't see this section of the road. Did you? We went like pretty much the whole way up it. Maybe
Sometimes
this seems like it might be an old picture from like the 70s or something, so maybe the road was a bit different back then.
Only to return into view some feet away. It is as if it can sense strange movement and take the correct precautions to ensure its safety.
Oh, wait a minute. They're just showing orb pictures here. This is just orbs.
Be seen most every night, but it is possible that the light does not manifest. Many people describe the light to be intelligent, generally bluish white in color and ranging in brightness depending on relation to the light.
That looks like the sunset.
People have carried out several experiments with the light, even recording it on video. During one encounter, a friend who claims to be a medium, someone who speaks to ghosts, attempted to coax an audible response from the light, but nothing happened. When yelled at or
a medium
screamed at, the light would always move farther away and vanish. There was only one sighting people recalled as frightening. 2 people were standing at least 100 yards away from the light, and it began to float towards them. Somewhere along its path of movement, it stopped and emitted a terrifying noise. It was described as similar to a dog's wail and similar to the sound of 20 to 30 people screaming. The light did not move any further, but the sound rushed past them. That's
what light is, you guys. It's the suffering souls of the dead. Electric lights. Yeah. We need to go back to candles so we aren't torturing our ancestors.
Only interaction that caused them any fear towards the light. As I traveled to Joplin for my first time, I was skeptical of the myth. I had always heard many stories from my fellow citizens and family, but vowed not to be convinced until I had witnessed the spook light on my own. The area in which the alleged sightings had taken place was not hard to find. There was an old museum named Spooksville Museum. Arthur Meadows.
Is the museum still, yeah, I think it's still in operation too. Let me see. We'll look it up. No, not here. It dragged me all the way back to El Paso. No, I was looking for the museum. Oh well. We got videos to get through.
Was the first to run this museum. Arthur Posey Meadows first became interested in the spook light when he spent several weeks camping in the area around 1940 and recalled childhood stories about the light. Meadows decided to stay in the area and erected a shack at the intersection of East 50 Highway and State Line Road. Meadows, once a photographer by trade.
That's true, Amber. In some brands I wear a medium, and then in some brands I wear a large. So you're not wrong. So whether or not you're a medium has a lot of variables. When I used to go ghost hunting, though, one of my friends had a medium friend that was part of their ghost hunting crew. That I found them quite pretentious, but like they were kind of like, oh well, I've decided that that's what this means, and I'm just gonna that's gospel now for the whole team, so you can't question that.
Realized the potential tourism value of the site. Soon, a large sign announcing Spooksville USA and another reading Spookers Shanty Souvenirs appeared in front of the shack. Inside,
you're not saying it right. You got to say it like you're from the area. You act like you ain't ever been down to the southern part of Missouri before. It'd be spooker. Spooker. You got to ew. You got to get that ew in there. That's how. Half my family talks like this. I can just turn it on and off whenever I want to. But I don't ever talk like this in public because it is embarrassing. Not really, though. That's how my family, in Missouri talks. My dad had sort of an accent like that. My dad had a southern accent. He wasn't from the South, though. He's from, there's like a culture that climbs up the side of the Mississippi that speaks with that accent. And they say things like in the creek.
Newspaper clippings and photographs pertaining to the strange light were hung on the walls. Phosphorescents were sold, and you could view the light through a telescope for a quarter. During the mid-1950s, the site peaked under Meadows and the colorful yarns he would spin about the light to any who were interested. Meadows even composed a song about the light that he would sing to the museum's visitors called "Come See the Spooklight Tonight." With the passing of Spooky Middleton and the subsequent closing of the museum, the mysterious light lost its greatest promoter and friend. The museum has recently burned down, so now...
Oh, yeah. I do have a natural bit of southern accent. It pops out sometimes, but I have more... My accent also has touches, because of the place I come from, of a northern accent, too. So I get into the kind of a nasally... talking like a Minnesota mom sort of accent, and I just kind of roll into that too, depending on who I'm talking to. But did you look up the line that Hannibal Lecter says to Clarice about covering up her accent? Is that what you said?
The recently built casino acted as our landmark. The light from the casino is yet visible deep in the country where the light supposedly appears. My first trip, I admit, I was slightly afraid, not because of what would happen if the light appeared, but what would I do if confronted by the phenomenon?
I'm gonna go confront that phenomena. Phenomena, do 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 do. Phenomena, do 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 do. If that's the case, Hudson Valley is full of spirit skins. Tell you so much about the Colonial Massacre and Revolutionary War skirmishes. This is the video from the beginning. It's just the same video from the beginning, but I guess we have context for it now. It's 2013. That explains the blurry.
I'm at least halfway convinced that there may be something out there that cannot easily be explained.
I want to go see it, though. Yeah, I'm from the Midwest, but I'm from the Mississippi Valley of the Midwest. Southern culture just climbs right up all the way to St. Louis. All the way to Hannibal if you want to get pedantic about it, but yeah.
Way up in the Blue Ridge Mountains,
Speaking
where the
of
air
Southern
hangs heavy with
accents.
secrets and the stars.
Where's my Carolina people at? Any Carolina people in the audience? Oh, hold on, I'm all blurry. Did I do that? Whoosh. Did it fix it? Yeah, sometimes that works. Doesn't always. Neat.
Stars seem closer than the ground beneath your feet. Something strange has been happening for centuries. Folks call them the Brown Mountain Lights, ghostly orbs that float and flicker through the night, defying explanation and leaving chills in their wake. Whether they're spirits of ancient
Do you have phenomena stuck in your head now, Miss Maya?
warriors, lost souls wandering the ridges, or something far beyond our understanding, one thing's for sure, once you see 'em, you'll never forget 'em. Welcome to Kentucky Melodies, America's Scariest Stories.
This channel we've been to before because we talked about the witch tree in Kentucky at some point. I like how there's like the ghost face killer in here though. Oh, there's a couple of them. And that one's kind of like Ghostface too. So is that one. Interesting. Ghostface and banjo strings. Assuming it's a banjo because this one cuts off right there. So that would be... Oh, I don't have my banjo in here anymore. I had my banjo in here just recently too.
Where we bring you ghostly legends, spooky haints, and bone-chilling tales from all over this great land.
Spooky haints. Yeah, ain't want no haints coming up in here now. Them haints gotta keep back out in the wood there.
These stories will have you looking over your shoulder all night. So pull up a chair, dim them lights, and let's dive into the eerie and unexplained. Now, way up yonder in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, where Linville Gorge cuts through the land like an old scar from something ancient, there's a mystery that's been puzzling folks for centuries.
Now, do you all think this is an AI voice or this is a real person? It's really smooth, but it doesn't have. It has a little bit of that stiltedness that makes it seem like it might be AI, and its tendency to ramble with like colorful with colorful analogies and stuff. It's
Call them the Brown Mountain Lights, ghostly orbs that float, flicker, and dance across them ridges in ways nobody's rightly figured out. Beneath the blanket of stars, these strange lights have become the stuff of legend, leaving folks wondering if they're spirits, science, or something far more sinister. It's a tale passed down through the years, tangled up in wonder and fear. Long before settlers ever set foot in these mountains, the Cherokee and Catawba folks had their own stories about them Brown Mountain Lights. The Cherokee reckoned they were the spirits of warriors who'd fallen in battle, their ghostly shapes wandering the ridges, still hunting for their
That'd
lost...
be a terrible place to have to wonder if you're a ghost up on a mountain ridge. I mean, I'm at higher elevation right now, and sometimes I have trouble breathing. Get up there on that ridge.
comrades. The Catawba, on the other hand, believed the lights were sorrowful women, searching forever for the souls of their fallen men. These tales, passed down round campfires and etched into memory, gave the lights a deep spiritual meaning, making them a living part of the mountain's lore.
Like these images.
When
Well, some of them. This may be an actual picture of the Brown Mountains, or the Brown Mountain. Actually, you know what? Let's go down to Brown Mountain. Goodbye, Missouri. Hello, North Carolina. Is this you? No, that's Bladenboro, where you'll find giant monster cats. Here we go. We're going to be up in this area. So there's the Linville Gorge that he mentioned. I did mark that on here, too. But the Brown Mountain is actually way over here. And the best place to see it from is probably going to be back in here. Oh, not really. Ooh, this is pretty, though. Look at this. Oh, yeah, so let's be looking at Spooklights. Sorry. And don't let me get distracted. Y'all call me out if I start getting distracted. Triple dipper. You're gonna make it hard to see the brown mountain, aren't you? It's because you hate me. There it is, though. It's one of the bigger mountains, for sure. It looks like people rafting on it. There's the, ooh, frostiness. I think that's my nephew. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, let's go back to the video.
European settlers came along. They saw the lights too. Early travelers, guiding themselves by lanterns and starlight, told of strange orbs hovering above the trees, softly glowing before disappearing into the night. Folks said the lights seemed alive, weaving through the hollers like restless spirits. Their eerie presence both
I love it when they call them hollers, though. Way back in the holler. Made moonshine so he can make $1.
capturing hearts and sending shivers down spines.
Oh, y'all making poop jokes about the Brown Mountain.
Back in 1913, folks really started buzzing about the Brown Mountain lights after a fisherman's tale hit the Charlotte Daily Observer. He told of strange red orbs that'd show up every evening, hovering just over the mountain's horizon. Them lights would rise and fall, glowing with this unearthly hue for disappearing into the night. His story got folks curious, and it weren't long before others started coming forward with their own accounts. By 19...
That's kind of how it happens, right? It was a dark, foggy night on the river when the lights came into view.
1922, the U.S. Geological Survey sent a feller named George R. Mansfield to poke round and figure it out. He claimed the lights were nothing but reflections from train headlights, campfires, or brush fires, but the locals weren't buying it. They knew better, saying
they knew better than the Geological Society guy?
they'd seen the lights long before trains ever came through these parts. And besides, they pointed out how them orbs moved in ways no headlight or fire ever could, darting round, changing colors, and dancing like they had a mind of their own. The lights kept drawing attention, and the sightings just added more fuel to the fire. Some folks said they saw 'em hovering like lanterns, while others swore they zipped through the sky faster than you could blink. Witnesses talked about orbs pulsing with colors, disappearing, and reappearing like they was
Ooh. Those ones are pretty. Are they colorful like that?
playing hide and seek with anyone brave enough to watch. Now, them Brown Mountain lights have been sparking curiosity and spinning tales among folks in North Carolina for generations. These mysterious orbs have got people wondering, and over the years, all kinds of explanations have bubbled up, mixing together old folklore, first-hand accounts, and the culture of the mountains. Whether it's ghostly spirits, natural phenomena.
I wish you would specify which of these pictures are AI and which of them are real. That doesn't look like the Brown Mountain that I just saw.
Or something downright otherworldly. Everyone's got their own idea about what
Them old Duke boys got themselves in trouble again with them old Brown Mountain lights.
makes these lights dance through the night. Round these parts, most folks reckon there's something downright otherworldly about the Brown Mountain lights. One of the oldest stories says them lights are the spirits of Catawba maidens, wandering the ridges in search of their warriors
Why
who
did that say
Catawba
Cherokee?
maidens.
Why does it say Cherokee maidens and you say Catawba maidens? That's weird. I'm suspicious of that.
wandering the ridges in search of their warriors who fell in a fierce battle on Brown Mountain. It's a tale passed down through the ages, so deep in the roots of this land that it's as much a part of the mountains as the trees and the rocks. Another story tells of a faithful old slave from Civil War times. They say he'd roam the mountain, lantern in hand, looking for the master he'd lost.
That's cringe as fuck. Ugh. No, let's not go. Let's not go with that one.
Folks claim the lights are his restless spirit still searching night after night. That tale grew legs when it was turned into the bluegrass tune Brown Mountain Lights by Scotty Wiseman, spreading the legend far and wide.
Scotty Wiseman wrote a song about the faithful old slave, huh?
Folks round here who've seen the Brown Mountain Lights often say they look like hazy lanterns, bobbing off in the distance, kind of like someone walking the ridges with a light in hand. These sightings have only fueled the notion that something ghostly's at play.
It's ghostly.
One local put it plain, saying, "We always heard it was native spirits who died in the area." Whether it's the spirits of Cherokee warriors or something else entirely, them lights have a way of giving folks the chills and making them believe in things they can't quite explain.
I want to go see the Brown Mountain Lights now. I want the chills. Give me the chills. I am all about getting the chills. Yeah, and I'm not all about the faithful slave. Even the term faithful slave just sounds gross. Like bro didn't have a choice.
Now, not everyone thinks the Brown Mountain Lights are spirits or ghosts. Some folks reckon there's a more down-to-earth reason for 'em. They figure the lights might be a kind of will-o'-the-wisp caused by gases coming up from decaying plants and lighting up on their own. Others say it could be something like atmospheric tricks or reflections from far-off lights, like car headlights or campfires bouncing off.
Maybe I should have pulled up a video of Will-o'-the-Wisp, a real Foxfire. Here we go. It's worth it. These are really cool. Look at that. Buy these mushrooms. Isn't that cool?
Off the ridges. Whatever the case.
Sorry, I just love bioluminescent mushrooms and how they contribute to folklore.
These explanations don't quite sit right with everyone, especially those who've seen the lights do things no natural cause could explain. Over the years, the story of the Brown Mountain Lights has grown and shifted, picking up pieces of folklore, science, and everything in between. What started as campfire tales and whispered legends has been shaped by each generation, mixing the old beliefs with new ideas. It's this constant blend of tradition
I would like to see the real ones.
and curiosity that keeps the mystery alive.
Jack-o'-lantern mushrooms. Ooh, I'm going to look that up. Hold on. I'll let this play while I look it up.
Always changing, but never losing its spark. When it comes down to it, folks' thoughts on the lights are just as wild and varied as the lights themselves. Some swear by the supernatural, spirits and ghostly figures haunting the ridges, while others lean toward science, looking for answers in the land.
Yeah, here we go. Trick or treat. Trick or treat for my hive. Spooky season. We got bioluminescent jack-o'-lantern mushrooms. Pretty cool. Yeah, foxfire. Jack-o'-lantern mushrooms are one of the foxfire mushrooms. There's not actually a species that's foxfire. Foxfire is what like people in the old times would think that glow was. It wasn't from. They didn't know it was from a mushroom. They thought that I mean, the idea of a foxfire is that the foxes built little magical fires in the woods that glowed green.
And sky. But no matter where you stand, one thing's for sure. The Brown Mountain Lights have a way of capturing imaginations and reminding us that some mysteries are meant to linger. The Brown Mountain Lights are still as much a mystery today as they were all those years ago, with folks from far and wide heading to spots like Wiseman's View or the Brown Mountain Overlook.
They do look a lot alike.
Hoping to catch a glimpse. Clear nights in the fall seem to be when they're most active, glowing in colors like white, yellow, red, and even blue, floating silent as a ghost above the mountain ridges.
You know, I'm starting to think that those are just those marshmallows that the leprechaun sends out into your cereal. And what people are seeing is every night he's got to send them out. And that's what people are seeing flying. And maybe for whatever reason they have to fly lower over the Blue Ridge Mountains here. Chanterelle is your new stripper name. That's classy. And you gotta tell them that people mistake you for a jack-o'-lantern.
Witnesses describe the lights with a mix of awe and unease. Some say they drift.
Is it Chanterelle or Chanterella? What's with foxes being so cold all the time? We got them building fires. We have flowers that they use for gloves. Why are they so cold all the time? I don't know. You look at my feed here. Foxes being cold. Because you know what this fox is doing? He's laying on a gravestone. Because he's cold and it's black. Yeah. So you're not wrong.
Low over the treetops, flickering like lanterns carried by unseen hands. Others talk about 'em darting through the air with a speed and purpose that don't seem natural, disappearing and reappearing like they're playing some kind of game. The most unnerving stories come from those who swear the lights feel alive, like they're watching whoever's watching them. Even with all the fancy gadgets and research from places like Appalachian State University, the lights keep their secrets.
Wait, is it girls with little lights on their chest? Is that what we're seeing?
In State University, the lights keep their secrets. Cameras might capture their movements, and instruments might track their glow, but no one's come close to explaining exactly what they are. Each new study only deepens the mystery, leaving plenty of space for wonder and speculation to light up imaginations, just like those strange orbs in the night sky. Standing under the stars and seeing the Brown Mountain Lights for yourself is like touching something eternal, a bridge between what is and what once.
Yeah, I'm really thinking definitely AI though, because how poetic his language is.
It's a
He's meeting some kind of word count.
glimpse into a mystery that no amount of science or technology has managed to tame. Whether they're the spirits of long-lost warriors, strange forces deep in the earth, or something that goes beyond what we can understand, them lights have a way of haunting the soul and sticking in your mind.
Well, I'm
For
gonna
those
go see
drawn
'em.
to the unknown,
See,
Brown Mountain.
these are cryptids I'll actually be able to go like investigate, glowing orb people, or spirits or whatever. I can actually go out to Brown Mountain and fight them. My stripper name is Bob Wire. That's a terrible stripper name. Wires are generally not very broad.
Is like a siren's call.
Girth matters.
It's a place where legend and reality twist together, where the air feels heavy.
I'm joking, of course. I'm sure your penis is fine.
like the past and present are
I'm gonna
whispering.
go fight glowing balls of light in the forest. You bet your ass I am, Tsunami. If they're supernatural, I'm gonna fight them. Leave the mountain ghosts alone. They are peaceful people. If you pop one, you get its power. They're just like they're just little floaty balloon guys, right? Just little boop. Like, if life was a video game, I feel like one of the goals would be to pop these things. Like, to go to the Brown Mountains and jump on them like Super Mario. Your stripper name is Tripod.
Secrets just out of reach. The lights flicker and dance through the darkness, calling to anyone brave enough to watch and wonder. But their true purpose, well, that's something only the mountain itself seems to know. And it ain't sharing anytime
I bet you are, girly.
soon. Now that you've heard the tale of the Brown Mountain Lights, what do y'all reckon they are? Could they be the spirits of Cherokee warriors or something natural, like gases or reflections? Or maybe, just maybe,
I do think there's something natural, yeah?
they're a sign of something otherworldly watching us from the shadows. Have you ever seen something
It's always aliens. It's always aliens.
strange in the mountains that gave you pause? Share your thoughts and stories down in the comments. We'd love to hear them.
All right, now these are the Marfa lights in Texas, and there's a Mesa. I've actually been through here. Well, not right through here, but by the area. It's always aliens.
Ask 100 different people about the Marfa lights, and you'll probably get 100 different answers about how many there are, how big they are, what color they are, and how close you can get to them. The one thing most folks seem to agree on, though, is that if you'll come to this spot off Highway 90 about this time of day, pretty soon you'll notice that there's something out there, and nobody knows exactly what it is.
In January of '88.
What happened?
Oh, well, I was coming from Alpine. My daughter was with me, and it was about 10:30 at night, and she was the one that spotted them first.
I see several lights. Sometimes there's one, sometimes there could be five.
Can you all see that?
They dim. Sometimes there's one, sometimes there could be five. I see several lights. Sometimes
not
there's one,
headlights?
sometimes there could be five. They dim, they brighten, then they move. And sometimes they line up. Sometimes they split. And they're different from any other light.
Now, I'm talking about 1943. You didn't have guard lights, you didn't have vehicular traffic, you didn't have yard lights. There was no electricity on the ranches at all. And
But
all
you did have the Marfa lights back then.
Oh, sure, sure.
That looks kind of Bernie like. It was
On the
burning.
West Texas Flats, southeast of El Paso, the ghost lights of Marfa continue to glow.
Southeast
I'll
of
watch
El
them for hours,
Paso.
shining bright as can be,
Part of the state I'm in.
like the love light shining in her eyes. Another mystery.
This is the stuff science fiction movies and novels are made of. The mystery lights of Marfa. They're as much a part of this West Texas town as the corner street lights.
Out in the West
They've been here
Texas
since
town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. So, El Paso's over here though, and these are way down here. So they're not like right by El Paso. Halfway between El Paso and San Antonio, or a little bit. And Texas is huge, so anyway. But the Marfa lights have their own viewing area where you can come out here and view them. out here. All right, so with that in mind, let us first line ourselves up. Marfa Army Airfield. Well, okay. Alta Vista Ranch Airport. So there's 2 airports out here. One of them's super close to the lights, too. Okay. It's like a rest stop thing, right? And here's some trains. Train track runs along the highway here. Okay, it runs right along that. So what are the mountains that we're seeing? And what about 67? It looks like it runs up through here too. So there's 2 airports, trains, and a highway running back through here. I imagine science peeps out collecting or documenting nocturnal species being completely clueless that their lights are causing these legends. Yeah, that'd be funny. The lights have been reported by cowboys long before there was autos or planes. No, I'm just looking at the different things that we could be seeing. I'm not trying to say, oh, this is what it is. I've debunked it. Just looking to see what is out here. Cathedral Mountain, that sounds cool. I know it's off topic, but I just want to see it, if I can see it. Can I see it? No. Grr. But when I traveled on the 10. I didn't come off the 10, but we did go, we did go through here, through Plateau and, all these cities along here, but it would have just been a short dip to come down to Marfa. Maybe that's something we should have done. I don't know. There's no swamps out here. This is West Texas. This is desert and mountains. No. You get over here, it gets pretty swampy, but West Texas is dry, like super dry and montane. There's things called sky islands, but they don't have marshes per se, but they are like more moister because of their height. Shrek farts. All right, let's see.
The times the Indians roamed the hills of Big Bend and cowboys drove cattle across Mitchell Flat. Folks around these parts all agree that something mysterious is out there on the desert south of Marfa. But few folks in this adobe and whitewashed town agree on what the ghost lights of Marfa really are.
What do you think they are?
I don't know. All this time, I think they might be UFOs.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. Well, I mean, depends on how high up they are, I guess. If they're off the ground, then they're UFOs by definition. So she's not wrong.
That's my belief. That's what I think.
Because to reiterate, UFO just means unidentified flying object, which they definitively would be.
Gutierrez has been fixing Marfa's headlights most of his life, but he never concerned himself with the mystery lights until about 15 years ago.
What do you think they are?
Gosh, I don't know. A lot of people ask me the same question. I think it's got to do with the minerals in the soil. Maybe there's some kind of substance in there that does that, you know, just in that particular area, you see.
That's a theory.
Back in World War II, the Army had an air base near Marfa. The only visible lights were in town. Edison's invention hadn't made it to the...
I mean, that depends on what you want to see, John. The desert part between here and El Paso, or between El Paso and Austin, is the desert part. There's lots of like mesas and stuff, lots of canyon country to drive through, so it's pretty cool looking. And then you get into the highlands in the middle of the hill country there, and it's all wine and peaches.
Surrounding farm and ranch houses. That's when pilot Fritz Call first saw the Marfa lights.
With black as the ace of spades out here at night. And we could see these strange little lights off in the distance.
What about the stories about a big ball of fire coming up and buzzing you around and coming in the car?
I'm sorry, I have absolutely no, I just can't stand that sort of prevarication, because that's what it is. It's a gross miscarriage of justice to these little devils, because they're friendly.
They're gonna fly out and get you?
The Marfa Chamber of Commerce president
It is a
says
long
this isn't a
drive.
publicity
That's
stunt to
definitely
boost
true.
tourism in the town. Scientists and mystery solvers have been unable to explain the hue of flickering lights.
Basically, I like the folklore aspect of it, and that is it's the Mescalero Apache chief Alzate looking for his tribe. That's the explanation.
Kind of romantic anyway.
It's romantic. That's the real
Apache
explanation.
chief?
Alzate.
Disappeared.
Researchers say that most of what everyone sees are probably car lights, but there are still some lights the scientists are not able to explain, like this one that we slowed down, shooting off in a squiggly line from near the radio tower at the lower left. To add to the mystery, our camera
was pretty
recorded
neat,
something that has
actually.
never been seen before. We named them the Marfa flashes. There, did you see it? They only last 1/60th of a second. So quick and dim, they can't be...
That looks like it could be foxfire. That looks like bioluminescence to me. Glowworms. Okay. That's what it looks like to me, is like a bioluminescent worm. And I'm trying to find... There we go. Like a good picture one. Okay, here we go. And they have a glowing organ that makes them light up like that. But they just flash. They don't stay lit for very long. I think wine and peaches, sign me up. Yeah, wine and peaches. That is exactly what happens when you get to hill country, when you get to the highlands of central Texas.
Seen by the naked eye. There are different shapes and different colors, red, blue, green, and even more white ones. Just like the Marfa lights, the mystery surrounding the source of the Marfa flashes may never be discovered. And the folks around here really don't care to know.
Very inexplicable.
Don't know what they are.
Don't know what they are, but something's out there on the Mitchell
That
Flat.
almost like it's burning, but that may be a pixelation. Because if you look at the vehicles and stuff, this was shot at least no later than like 1995.
Thanks for hopping in and traveling with us. Now,
All right, so that was the Marfa lights. Next we have some Arkansas. Okay, got a cool intro.
Sometimes a story can grow bigger even than the town itself. This is never more true than with Gurdon, Arkansas.
I saw that back in 1997. The light be on one side, then turn around, the light's on the other side. It's like a glowing white light, like a lantern.
My mother often said that it was swamp gas, what it would have to be. Every excuse that they could come up with, every rationale they could come up with, there were some real problems with that.
I haven't ever seen it, but they said it's kind of like an orange yellow ball of fire that floats across the tracks at night. That's why it's the Garden Light, because he goes around at night trying to find his head.
Well, anything's possible. I believe it's...
A lot of these guys are looking for their
real.
head.
There's something weird about it. There really is. That's why it's still such a phenomenon today.
I believe in a lot.
There's their like orbs, but let's see. Garden lights. I think it was this one. Yeah. Here we go. Garden spook lights, which you can't really drop down in there. But it's a train track that runs back through here. You see the track kind of peeking through right there. All right, now that's the road. Oh, where's the train track? I thought it was a train track when I saw that right there. See that? Where it looks like it's raised up. There's going to be a train track, though, because it's the train track folklore. We'll get to the bottom of this. Don't you worry, Hive. Maybe the train track runs alongside the road? That might be, because it looks like there is another... Okay, let me see. Let's see. You hear my throat grind. I'll take something for it after I'm done streaming today. There's a crack. Yes, we're in Arkansas. That's a crack. We're all looking for some head. You're not wrong. Where's the train track? That's what I want to know. Where's the Burlington Northern Santa Fe rail line at? Because that's the... I've been on the train through here, though, because I stopped in Arkadelphia, and I want to know if I've been on this train or not, because I took a train from... Let's straighten this out real quick. From St. Louis to Dallas, and it went through Arkadelphia. So I know that there's a active rail line running down through here. Because I thought the name Arkadelphia was cool. I remember it. And it went through Arkadelphia, and it went out through Texarkana here. Oh, what happened? Oh, it's being stupid. But I think I've been on this train. I think I have. I don't remember going through Garden, no. But this was going through some of the most beautiful swamp country I've ever seen in the world. So...
A lot of things, sometimes you see stuff that happens and you really have no explanation for it.
We're out here in the Ouachita Mountains, just northwest of Garden. We're in search of the Garden Light. Everybody you talk to seems to have a story of a family member or their friends or their own personal experiences where they've seen this light. You know, as far as I know, I have no reason to disbelieve this. In fact, I'm really hopeful that the Garden Light is something that I should believe in. As far as what causes it,
I'm a wanna believer too. I just got to be honest.
The spirit of a man
I got to be
who was murdered.
Honest about what I discover and what I believe. You think it's ball lightning, native atheist? That's
by one of his workers, or whether it has a more scientific explanation. That's not as important as like the experience, I suppose, of actually seeing the Garden Light. We might start calling for Mr. McLean, which was the recommendation from the ladies at the barbecue restaurant. Hey, Willie!
There was a railroad foreman killed, and he was killed out on the tracks, which is true. And they said that that light was the light, his lantern, looking for his head.
In 1930, these two
he's wearing a conductor hat.
conspirators, when they got through their work, they left. They run through the switch and derailed and made a mess. Foreman suspected that they were involved in the sabotage, so one of them followed him down the track.
It's an actual crime that occurred December 4th in 1931. Railroad foreman Will McLean was killed by an underling, McBride.
Maybe because he called him an underling. That would hurt my feelings.
Was that man's last name. McBride beat Mr. McLean over the head with a spike maul till he was dead, and when they found McLean, he was still clutching his lantern. And the light started showing up shortly after that on the railroad tracks.
They say always print the legend instead of the truth, you know. Supposedly that's what the light is the foreman looking for his head out there with his lantern.
Yeah, maybe you need your head to cross over.
I think that every human being at some point in their life, you know, kind of questions, are there things I can't understand that I can explain?
For real, discount quartering guy. Or actually, you'd be like the friendly quartering. You seem friendly and decent. So far, anyway.
But we all, at some point, you know, go looking for something like that. I like the ghost story aspect of this, you know, because everybody that we talk to seem to think that it's a spirit, but there are also some other theories that we have, because here in Arkansas we have some of the largest quartz deposits in the entire world, and there's an interesting principle called piezoelectricity. So when anything with a crystalline structure, when it's placed under pressure,
hell yeah,
and it flexes, that crystal lattice will actually generate a high voltage electricity. We actually have a major fault line that runs through Arkansas, known as the New Madrid Fault. And right here...
And when I was a kid, they used to freak out that the New Madrid Fault was gonna... At any point, any day now.
We are in Clark County, right on the edge of the fault line. This red dot here is a swarm of earthquakes that have been registered by the United States Geological Survey. So as the plates rub against each other, these quartz crystals start generating huge amounts of electricity. And I believe that this electricity could actually ionize the air above the fault line, generating these lights.
See, that's how you know it's not actually the quartering, because the quartering wouldn't have been able to figure that out. Jeremy Hamley wouldn't have been able to suss that.
I think any time that you've got an air of mystery about you right here, that this happened, or then this is part of it, you can't explain it, you know, and everything. There's not a lot.
Yeah, you think the head, maybe it's the floating head looking for the body, Aunt Jer. See, you're right on top of things. And it makes more sense that a floating sphere would be a floating head than a floating body. But I guess he's got to be holding the lantern. Maybe he's holding the lantern in his teeth?
Not in Gurdon.
We'll sort it out.
So, you know, whatever you can do, you do.
I started talking to Mark Carnes with the Ross Foundation about 2 years ago about the possibility of a Gurdon Light Trail. And we're going to have a groundbreaking today for the parking area of the actual Gurdon Light Trail.
Oh.
We're going to
okay.
create
So that must be what we're seeing. Is that the Gurdon Light Trail? Okay. Okay, so it's a walking trail. Okay, that makes more sense about why I can't get down in there. So we should, like, as time goes by, we should get more... pictures. This should start filling in, but it's just not going to be anytime soon.
Signage and the Gurdon schools, the FFA and the Gurdon East Lab, we're going to all get together and create signs and maybe make little mile markers along the way and benches at the most popular viewing areas, as well as the actual historic account of the Gurdon Light at the trailhead parking area. I think it's something that people enjoy and always remember. I think that it's rural adds to the...
And this one's very similar to the story that was attached to the Levee Walker lights from where I grew up. The Levee Walker was supposed to be a headless railroad worker holding a lantern looking for his lost hat.
allure, maybe the mystique.
As oxymoronical as that sounds.
And even the romance of the Gurdon Light.
Willie?
Hey, Willie!
We spent the better part of the night out here on the train tracks, hiking through waist-deep weeds and calling the name of...
I'd complain about their trail then. Be like, hey, you need to take better care of your walking trail.
McLean, like the locals urged us to do. And unfortunately, we haven't seen any sign of the Gurdon Light.
There it is.
We grow up with all these stories, all these myths and legends, and a lot of these stories get told by so many people and communities that they become really ingrained in the culture of that community. And people will actually attach, you know, maybe some of their identity to some of those stories because it's a common thing that everybody in that town can share. Kind of like a
All right. Move on from the Gurdon Lights to the Paulding Lights in Michigan.
We came out here because somebody had heard about it. We were just sitting around a night, and some local people that we knew had heard about this, and that supposedly it was a ghost light that came. You could almost guarantee you would see it. And we came out here, and there was actually this guy who was doing a story on mysteries of the UP, and he told us about all these mysteries that existed all over the Upper Peninsula and the weird things that he'd seen. And so it was quite.
I
an
like this
experience,
guy
especially
too.
being, an undergraduate, like it's the sort of thing that feeds into your imagination. A lot of people had postulated that it was car headlights, but no one provided any proof, at least not proof that satisfied anyone. And there was a lot of contradictory evidence. The original legend was that it was somebody who had been killed by a train conductor, and it was his lantern that was swinging. And then it kind of made more...
Yeah, a lot of these are like train tracks. There's like an overarching theme to that.
Into was a bar fight between a train conductor and somebody who was involved with the wife of somebody else with a lumberjack or something like that, right? Even locals know there is no train. There has been no train. This is not. If you look at the grade here, no one would ever put a train down this stretch of road, at least not in this direction. I think I've heard recently that Paulding is Ojibwa for glowing earth or something like that, which also is completely not true, right? I mean, it's probably some English guy's last name.
It's quite interesting. We've had people saying there's orbs in the sky and everything. We've been able to convince them that if it's like a brake light in our case, that it's really angry at them. And we even had someone try to hike about 12 miles back to go and find it. And pretty much everything. We've had people standing here having the pictures of the vehicles on the screen of the computer, and it's like, well, that's it, and they still won't believe it.
People are going to believe what they want to believe. A lot of people say that what we will see tonight is not the real Paulding Light. In fact, that the real Paulding Light hasn't been seen for 3+ years. And I think even what people, even the more spectacular things that people have seen can probably still be explained by the same phenomenon. And that actually relates closer to what my actual research is, which is the interaction between light and air, right? You watch an NFL game, you see waviness from these long
I really like this
shots
guy.
that they take, right? Well, okay,
Yes,
that's over, let's
One-Eyed
say,
Willie from the Goonies.
what, maybe 1,000 feet maximum, right? We're talking about 4, 5, 6 miles here. Because that's actually a question that I had, actually, after going through my research. How is it that you can actually see the light from this distance, over 6 or 7 miles? It should be just a blur off in the distance. Given, what I know about turbulence, it actually shouldn't be that, you can see it as clearly as you can. You're staring out the woods here, and when it gets dark, it's black. It's pitch black. There's nothing there. There's no point of reference. You see a light, and the light is actually moving, and if you look through the telescope, you can see the light moving up the road, and then it stays steady on that long...
I'm sorry, I'm just letting this guy talk, but I'm really interested in what he's explaining here.
That piece of road for a long time. That small movement, coupled especially coupled with turbulence, which can cause a tilt effect. It's just like the twinkling of the stars, except, of course, you're dealing with something that's actually larger and closer to you.
We originally just started out trying to see if we could visually see anything going on. We took a couple telescopes out, and after we brought the first telescope out, could clearly tell there were headlights, and we could see, obviously, 2 lights, and occasionally tail lights driving by. And then recently we've been bringing out this bigger telescope. Been trying to get spectrometer readings, which is going to measure like the light frequencies and everything like that.
All right, I guess we need to get up there and look at the Paulding lights too, because we finally have something in Upper Michigan. We haven't had anything on the map in Upper Michigan yet, so and we know it's the only one now too. So yeah, Paulding lights. And you can see that this road arcs up around there. But let's see if we can drop down. Of course not. How close can we get? Right there. Where the road forks. And it goes straight and the highway arcs up around. And this row of power lines passes along the whole distance. Old US 45. And this is where the guys are taking their videos and stuff at. But this continues on back through here. Following along the power lines. Now the road looks like it branches off a bit here, but the power lines continue straight. Matheson Creek. And then more headlights. Yeah, 45 and old 45. So the speculation is probably that they're seeing headlights off the 45 on the old 45.
We've been measuring the distances between the appearances and disappearances of the cars, and we've been taking video of it as well.
Hey, how are we going to do this? We sit around, we talk about how might we use a spectrometer to measure the spectrum of the Paulding light. How can we apply statistics to make to derive or to show some sort of relationship between the Paulding light and what we believe to be the source of it, which is cars. That's really what this is more about, is to get undergraduates involved, and graduates not necessarily just interested in going to graduate school because graduate school is there and it's a thing to do, but to want to do it because research can be fun.
Definitely looks like headlights to me.
Today, Saratoga is more of a look back at what was than what is.
I didn't like this one.
As this town boomed in the early 1900s around the oil industry.
I might have to do Saratoga again, but I didn't like this guy's character. So we're gonna wrap the Cryptic Corner with this one. Science for everyone. Woo! Science. Colorado Silver Cliff Cemetery.
What's really behind the ghost lights of Colorado's Silver Cliff Cemetery? Tucked between rugged mountains, this lonely graveyard is home, allegedly, to ethereal, glowing orbs that dance among the headstones. The town of Silver Cliff sits in a high valley between Colorado's Sangre de Cristo Mountains, rising like saw blades more than 14 feet, and the aptly named Wet Mountains, which top out around 12,000. It started out as a mining town in the late 1870s, and despite regular snow 8 months a year, chilly temps, and rugged terrain, a silver boom quickly made it the state's third largest town. By the early 1880s, more than 5,000 people called Silver Cliff home, including 3 miners who were walking home from a bachelor party one dark night. They opted for a shortcut through the town's cemetery, and as they walked past the graves, ghostly balls of blue and white light began to dance among the tombstones. That sure hurried them to town, where their story spread, getting muddled in the retelling. In some versions, it actually happened in the 1890s, or perhaps this was a second, similar incident.
I like this
Sometimes a miner trying to...
This voice is also AI, I think.
catch the lights with a knife, slices into his own
Into
raincoat.
vampires.
In some tellings, the whole town turns off its lights one night to prove the phenomenon isn't just reflections off the headstones. The truth, like the lights themselves, is elusive. Today, Silver Cliff has around 600 residents, and the cemetery shows its age. Wildflowers and high prairie grasses rustle and bend in the valley's notorious winds, brushing against
that a
tilted,
wooden
worn
grave
headstones and
marker?
advancing over the bricks that mark.
Is that AI voice trained on the Honest Trailer guy? I know, right? Let's go look at this silver. It's good to get another one in Colorado too, because Colorado was looking kind of sparse when it came to representation. Creation Rock, huh? Lafayette. Here we go. It's the bottom one. Let's look at this cemetery. Nope. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to drop down here. Whoosh. And then we're going to go south to the cemetery this way. Okay. It says there's supposed to be some mountains. Yep, there's the mountains right there. Okay. Alright, so we got a good bearing.
Plot lines. They all need to be taken care of, says Silver Cliff Museum curator Richard Posadas, who has come to the cemetery. It's his first visit in a while, so the weeds around his great-grandparents' graves are encroaching more than he'd like. The couple moved here long ago in hopes the dry air would cure his great-grandmother's tuberculosis. Posadas points out a nearby rock with a plaque on it. A monument.
My great-grandma also had tuberculosis, and yeah.
10 miners who died in a mine explosion in 1885. Some of them are buried here as well, he says, a reminder that Silver Cliff was a dangerous place because mining was a dangerous job. During the silver boom era, local papers such as the Silver Cliff Rustler and Wet Mountain Tribune recorded miner deaths and mishaps, but there seems to be nothing from that time about the ghostly lights.
So they're dead miners here.
Founder of the investigative group Rocky Mountain Paranormal, says the first written mention he's found of them appears in the 1956 Wet Mountain Tribune article Silver Cliff Cemetery Ghosts Carrying Own Lights at Night. One evening last week, some of the younger set of the community were taking a nocturnal ride, reads the article. As they passed the cemetery, screams of terror came from the feminine occupants of the car as they beheld numerous eerie lights dancing among the tombstones.
From the feminine
There's nothing in the
occupants of the
1956 article
tour
about the lights ever being seen before, suggesting the mid-century incident may have actually been the first sighting, embellished over the years with claims of drunken miners and slashed raincoats. We see that with most of the cases that we deal with, says Bonner, adding that his team is usually able to track it back to something as simple as a bunch of teenagers out, the boys trying to scare their girlfriends. The story reached national prominence in 1969 when National Geographic published a feature on Colorado. The article concluded with a trip to the Silver Cliff Cemetery, where dim, round spots of blue-white light glowed ethereally among the graves. Some believers today say National Geographic published an investigation into the lights. In reality, it's a few paragraphs in a piece that spans tens of pages. Given the way the truth has twisted over time like prairie grass in the wind, Bonner had his doubts about the lights. Nevertheless, his team went to investigate, camping at the cemetery with cameras to see what they could see. The first thing they noticed was the reflectivity of tombstones, which could be bouncing town's lights off their surfaces. When he visited, someone had also put up blue reflectors throughout the property. If you're way down the hill from there and hit one of those with any light whatsoever, they reflect really well, he says. He thinks that might explain the lights. Or, he says, it could be a phenomenon with the eerie name of the prisoner's cinema. When your eyes don't get stimulated by photons, if, say, you work in a mine, or walk home in a place that even today is considered a dark sky community, you sometimes hallucinate lights. When you're in that type of darkness, your eyes start messing with you.
I want to live in a dark sky community, no fair.
says. And then, of course, the mind being the terrible thing that it is, it starts messing with you. And then, of course, the mind being the terrible thing that it is, it starts messing with you. Bonner isn't saying the lights aren't real, and he's not saying they aren't ghosts. I can't prove a place is not haunted, he says. You can't prove a negative. Whatever.
All right. Well, that's... Man, I've been going long on Cryptic Corner here lately. It's been going like an hour and a half. But there's just so much to cover anymore. I think I overfill my plate sometimes. I'm like, oh, I need at least 20 minutes of content to cover to fill my hour. And then, like, you know what? I'll overflow it a little bit. And then I overflow it and we end up like this. All right. But, yeah, ghost lights are a fun topic. What do you all think of the Joplin lights, of the Brown Mountain lights, the Marfa lights, the Gurdon lights, the Pauline lights, the Spirit lights of Silver Cliff, the Saratoga lights, the Neosha lights, all of these in the U.S. What do you think they are? Are they headlights reflecting? Is it earth crystals releasing electric pulses in the dark? Is it something to do with all these places having power lines running alongside of them like that? Let me know in the comments down below, and please remember to be kind, take care, and we'll see you next time.